Old people can't drive. They're a liability out on the road. You never know what's going to happen when they're driving around you. You're always a little timid when you pull up alongside somebody who's older, and you look at them and you're like, they shouldn't be out here. I want there to be a law that's passed that makes senior citizens retake their driving tests every 5 years. It may be an inconvenience to the elderly and the elderly's family members, but it's something that needs to be done. It allows there to be a safer environment out on the street. The senior drivers that drive around throughout the daytime, or even at nighttime if they do that, present an extreme safety hazard to not only people in cars, but bystanders, people who are trying to walk across the street, bikers, anyone outside in the vicinity of where these people are driving. It is proven that the fatality rates of accidents involving people over the age of 65 increase their fatalities. That has to do with how their body works, the injuries that they sustain because of their accidents. It's proven the human body breaks down over time. You lose vision, you can't hear as well, your joints start to break down, your bones start to break down, hips, any kind of injury sustained by an elderly person has the potential to be more hazardous than if it was to a younger person. Personally, I have had experience with elderly drivers when probably about 2 years ago, I was back at home and I was driving. I made a right onto a one-way street and made the right, started driving, and I noticed that some elderly woman pulled in, made a left in front of me on a one-way street, drove down like this, pulled up, she honked at me and had the nerve to get out of the car and tell me that I had to get out of her way, and she was the one with all the blame. But I took like a champ. I backed up, let her go. But this is just a circumstance. What if I didn't see her? What if she didn't see me and we just ran right into each other? Those are the kind of situations that need to be avoided and need to be changed. If the elderly had to retake their driving test every 5 years after the age of 65, there obviously would be many that don't pass, and this could somehow affect their family members having to drive them around, or if they don't have any family members, they would have to take buses or certain ways of transportation. This is worth it, though. If you say you have to open up more busing systems or have people like personal drivers, this opens up more job opportunities for other people who are capable of driving and still keeps the streets safe. There are a lot of facts out there that say that the youth of America causes more accidents than the older people in America, and this is true, but there are far more drivers who are my age, younger than me, going into their 30s. There's far more of those drivers than there are elderly drivers throughout America. And the elderly drivers drive less miles than the youth of America. The youth of America is driving more longer distances and is prone to get into more accidents. That is the reason why the statistics are skewed the way they are. Now, picture yourself driving in an environment where senior citizens that were capable of driving are only around you. You're not going to run into situations where you got an elderly woman driving down a one-way street coming for you on a head-on collision. Minus all of those people out of the driving world, how much safer would you be in your car making decisions with stop signs, traffic lights? You wouldn't have to be timid about every move you make driving on a street. You have a confidence of being safer. And this also presents safer for children walking across the street, anyone who has an activity outside in an environment where cars are around them. The bottom line is that senior citizens must retake their driving test every 5 years. It's a hazard to any individual on the streets, and every senior citizen is not capable, including this could happen with younger people under the age of 65, but this would help eliminate people that aren't capable of driving and keep them off the streets and keep the streets safer. So I encourage you to support my decision to install some kind of bill or act into the law that forces senior citizens above the age of 65 to retake their driving test every 5 years.